Why don't you tell us, Amish, a little recap of what we covered last week? Just so people can get used
Well, last week, classic Steven, was like, you guys are lazy, go to work, lazy. Classic Steven. And I'm hearing it from my family, and I'm hearing it from Steven, and I'm sick of it, quite frankly.
I said,
get off your lazy ass, lefty, socialist shit, living off the government, the inflation's through the roof.
No, dude, no. I said, look, fight for your rights, fight for whatever you want. Just please don't shut down my McDonald's. My ethics stop at the McMuffin at 3 a.m. Yes. If I can't get that, I don't know what I can get. I don't know if I live in America anymore. So I really stopped there. I stopped there. Yeah. I said, look, don't take it away from me, please. Do whatever you need to. Charge me more money. I'll charge a late fee. But what is America without 24-hour fast food restaurants?
I think COVID has taught us all.
Bro, we're
given
Russia.
Us a little spanking. They said no more 24/7. It's not good for you.
I said this is the crisis we were heading for this whole time.
It really is, because a crisis in America is like, I can't have what I want when I want this second.
That's
crisis.
Right. Yeah.
Dude, Jimmy Carter lost the election.
Yeah.
Because people had to wait for gas. Like, you can't make an American wait for a product.
Right. Well, that was last week. Last week I said enough's enough. What's going on with the job issue? Because I obviously care about things that affect me. I'm just kidding.
I thought you were going to say people who watch Monday afternoon.
Well, that's right.
Probably
that's
not going back to work.
That's what I care about. So we're talking about, it's an ongoing segment, the Great Resignation segment. Yeah. So this is an economist talking about it. Did you find this? Or
no? You put that.
This is the thing I wanted to show you. 4.3 million people. Woo! I found this out. It just blew my mind. Quit their jobs in 1 month.
The month before, it was 4 million.
Bro, it's serious out there. Nobody's working.
No more McDonald's.
No, McDonald's is going down. Everybody's going down. Nobody wants to work. Nobody wants to work these jobs. But here's the thing. It was across all job sectors and among workers at all skill levels. I was kind of trying to figure out, because I left the podcast. I said, did I sin? Did I make a mistake? Was I basically just targeting people who have crappy jobs?
Was I hard on the community? Tell me,
God. Yeah. I was thinking to myself, was I fair to the plight of the worker? So I looked up who was most hit by this stuff, all this kind of stuff. Apparently it was among all workers, all job sectors, but especially, of course, in hospitality, food services, wholesale trade, and local education, which I've heard.
Dude, restaurant, it's like too hard. Once you're out of the flow of it, you got to give it a month or two. They'll come, but they're pretty rock and roll, restaurant workers, because it's hard work they do. It's grueling, especially in the kitchen. It's grueling work, right? So they're just kind of like, you lost a bunch of them. Because if they're hardworking people, you almost give them a break to be like, oh, maybe I should do something else. Because if you have the work ethic to work in a kitchen, man, it's hard work. So if you leave, kitchens are closed, and then you start doing some other thing, and they're just like, oh my God, everyone who ever works here is lazy. This guy actually works. He's working like he's in a kitchen. Like, like he doesn't want to go back, man. It's hard work. People have other options.
Restaurant jobs suck. I do have to say, people keep saying like no one wants to work for minimum wage. I don't know where you guys live. I don't know where you guys are at, but I know at least in Texas where I'm at, a lot of the places don't do minimum wage anymore. No, you can find a bunch of these jobs that like will offer you. I mean, the lowest I've seen just locally where I'm at in Houston is about $12 an hour. So it's like significantly above minimum wage, I would say.
Yeah. Minimum wage is 10 in America?
No, minimum wage is $7.25.
Oh my God.
Bad. But and yeah, so I agree, you guys are saying don't want to work for $7.25, but I just see all these job openings for a lot more than that. And so I'm just kind of wondering what's going on.
Yeah, there's a ton of job openings. Like there's so many, like it's easy to get a job right now apparently in America. People are like begging.
Minimum wage is still $7.25 in Wisconsin. Yeah, but again, not too many people are asking that anymore. Or offering
only
that.
Paying the minimum wage. I mean, Texas business is booming, right? Remember that too. Like maybe in Wisconsin, they're just like, why would I pay
yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
Texas has the hot business people, right? So even I just saw a video how Elon Musk just left California, that den of sinners, And now he lives in a box now in Texas.
I saw that.
Oh, that's incredible.
I've improved my life when I moved to a box.
What a G, dude. He knows it's not about that. It's about like being like doing what you're here to do, your purpose, your life's purpose. It's not about materialism. So, he really is in a lot of ways. It's good.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say something. Like, it is interesting to me that it does seem disproportionately like the hardest jobs, though, do not get paid the most. That is something that's confused me from ever since I was really just like born. Like, going and working in trenches does not pay as well as cushy office jobs where your biggest problem is Carol from HR.
Yeah.
Your number one problem is like, I have to do a weekly, huddle. Yeah. Meanwhile, the guy in the trench makes like a tenth of what you make. It's always been strange to me. Or like a lot of these restaurants, it's a brutal job. That's sucks. A brutal job. And they pay like the least.
But that's why I think trades
is unrighteous. I will say that is unrighteous.
That is unrighteous. But the tradespeople are not necessarily suffering so bad. And there is a new stat that even came out that men aren't even going to college now, or university, whatever you guys call it. I think you guys call it college. Men don't go to college, aren't going to college as much as women. And even that, though, people are saying that they might be just signing up for trades more because trades do pay. Like, you can become a plumber and be rich because people need it.
No, 100%. No, trades pay. No, but what I'm saying is like the actual jobs that have you really busting it, just for whatever reason, never pay as much as like the knowledge workers.
No.
And with so many people going to college, I think like I used to think, it's because it's just like a scarcer skill, knowing some kind of whatever your skill is. But I actually don't think that's true anymore. So many people are graduating from college. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of about equal now. Labor is replaceable. Management isn't. Kevin, that's where I entirely disagree with you. I think most management is completely replaceable.
Yeah, just management's smart enough to make themselves seem not replaceable.
Yes,
it's all politics. That's politics.
Correct. I think they're just closer to the cash flow. But I think if you actually look like how replaceable most middle management is, like we're not talking about CEOs like the Vision or whatever. We're talking about like middle managers. Bro, anybody.
They're so basic. I'm as a comedian, I'm always shocked at how easy the jobs are. I always thought like, man, I left the job world. And I know some of my friends are like, no, it's so stupid that I'm bored. Like that's how I have friends that are like, I'm making over 6 figures. I have rental properties. I have this. I'm bored. Like the work is meaningless. It's not hard to do. I can do it in 2 hours, like 4 hours a day or whatever. So there are office jobs like that still. They're very inefficient. And this is the caste system, brother. This is a caste system. It is a system of oppression. It is a caste.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's bad. But I guess finally people are quitting their jobs. We haven't seen a quit rate this high since 2000. So we're literally 20-year highs for the number of people who are quitting. But as people pointed out, there was some of the COVID relief stuff has been falling off. Like, so this isn't necessarily purely driven by, I want benefits or anything like that. A lot of the benefits are dying off or they're getting phased out. So what is making people quit so much across all job sectors? I think people are just done. I think the workers are just done.
Huh. Interesting. So you don't think this is COVID related? Like, I mean,
no, it is COVID related, but it's more than just like, I want benefits. I want, I think, is it the worker reawakening?
Well, there is historic workers' rights strikes in America right now.
Yeah.
John Deere, a bunch of mines, Hollywood, like the film industry, whatever. Like a bunch of people are protesting.
Which I support, by the way. Dude, Marvel Cinematic Universe is built off of borderline, like, just horrible working conditions for all the VFX artists, all the 3D artists. It's like thousands of hours of VFX work that goes very low paid. I mean, it's very sad.
Netflix also skirted a lot of stuff. Like, I know in India, Netflix, like if you watch TV in India and someone smokes a cigarette, they have to put like, smoking is bad for you. Do not smoke. You should not smoke, whatever. Netflix doesn't do it. And they get around a lot of laws like that in America too. Like a lot of like censorship stuff, like weird stuff like that. Like they get around union, like working with unions and stuff like that. So it's interesting. Like they need to do this strike to get the streaming services on board. So I get what they're doing. It makes sense. Like they just got it. The streaming services just basically came in, and like in the market, Netflix came in through this back door where like nobody noticed them. And then everyone's like, oh, this is the biggest company in the world now. Like it just came out of nowhere a little bit. It was like Blockbuster. It came from those like humble origins, and now it is time to go back and be like, hey guys, you got to pay more tax. We got to regulate you a little bit, like whatever it is. And I think these workers' rights have to push a little bit of that, because America is just too pro-business, don't you find? Do you think so or no? Like
What
generally
do you mean
speaking,
too pro? As a guy with a business, what do you mean?
I mean, like you're saying you support these workers' rights walkouts. I feel like I meet a lot of Americans who are like, go to work, you communist.
Oh, that's half of me. Half of me, I'm split.
Mm-hmm.
I'm split on it. Half of me is like, you got to work.
Yeah.
But then the other half of me is like, no, actually, these people are getting horribly underpaid. And it is good that they're, I mean, a lot of these companies are saving most of the capital for the guy at the tippity top. I mean, that's just a reality. A lot of these Fortune 500 companies, you hear these stories where the people at the bottom haven't seen a wage increase in like 15 years, and the people at the top, every year their compensation goes up. And then as the company's failing, they give themselves golden parachutes. I mean, there's
100%.
some...
They're out of control.
Listen, so I see that side of it. See that side of it. Same time...
So there's this great, incredible sci-fi series.
You gotta
do
something, whether it's for yourself or however you want to do it. However you want to do it. I do think it's bad. I do think it's bad to, should always be, as a culture, I think you should always be incentivizing some sort of work, whether it be for yourself, the betterment of yourself, whatever.
Yeah.
That's always the number one thing.
You got to get out of the house, man. Some people are just getting weird. You know what I mean? They stayed in so long. They're like, I don't want to leave. And then they're using, and not using, but like they're doing stuff like, I don't want to leave the house and I feel weird. And like, is COVID over yet? Nah, I don't want to go. You know, there is some of that. And my buddy owns a business and he's had to call people and be like, dude, get to work or I'm going to call the government and we're cutting your bet. Like they had some kind of like way to tell the government to take him off the work. Like it's a weird thing here where if someone's willing to take you back, I think your that monthly money gets cut off somehow. So he had to call his workers and be like, no, come back now. Like we're opening, and if you don't come back, then you're gonna get that cut. Like I gotta file that with the government.
Cutting off of the like unemployment or whatever.
Yeah, those unemployment benefits. Like he has to tell people, and then they come, and then they're like, yeah, you're right, fuck it. And then in a week or two, they're like, you know what, I needed to get out of the house. Like what have I been doing? It's like a lot of people. You just stop, and then you don't want to get like. It's gonna take a month or two. People will get back into it. I think that'll be fine on the work ethic end. On the rich people being too rich and like just controlling everything, taking too much money. That is a big factor that we can't ignore. Like I mean. The working conditions have to be improved in a lot of jobs. The wages are not like sustainable. You know what I mean? Like if you want these people to live and work in the society, like you need to pay them a little more. And there's a lot of stuff that they're fighting for. That's very
yeah. And there is sort of a weird thing where there is a solution to a lot of these problems of like and so this is where I blame McDonald's. It's like if you can't get enough workers. Just offer more. There is an amount of money which would solve this problem, and they're just not willing to pay for it.
Take a pay cut. These goddamn CEOs, they're so rich. Take a pay cut.
I know that is where I agree. That is where I agree because if people really believe in the market, then I guess you believe in the fact that if you're not getting the labor, just increase. You're not giving them enough to attract the labor. So that's why I go back and forth about it. Is because I truly know. See, the people who are like totally anti-corporation, they'll never admit that there are some people that are just like, if you give them, $2,000 a month not to work, just won't work. Yeah. So I think you have to accept that. I think you can also accept though that hey, these corporations have been screwing people for far too long. I'm a scammer. Gonna rip you off, take you down.